For this video, I want to show you how to create a wiggle anaglyph to create a sense of 3D, and I'm going to use what's called a stereoscopic pair, which is basically a left and a right view. And as you can see, there you go. If I start here and then go to the next one, you can see there's a slight difference in view between the left and right images, and that's because you would see one angle from your right eye and one angle from your left eye. So to create a wiggle anaglyph, we want to start by opening up the stereoscopic pair. So I have my left view here, and I'm going to go back into here, and what we want to do is actually drag the right image or the second image. It doesn't matter if it's right or left with a wiggle anaglyph, because you're seeing both angles pretty rapidly with both eyes. But when I drag this in, you can see now I have my left and right on the same file, and that's what we want. If you don't have it already like that, then you just bring in a copy of the file from a separate window. You can select all and then go edit, copy, and paste. But I have both pictures here. The next thing we want to do is open up the timeline feature. So if you go to Window, go down to Timeline, Window, Timeline, and then go down to the bottom here, you'll see a thing that either says Create Frame Animation or Create Video Timeline, and we want Frame Animation. And what we're doing, in the first frame you can see it's this top view. So then what we want to do is add another frame. So if you go down here, you can click on that, and now you see that it's created a thumbnail down there in the timeline. And if I uncheck the eyeball for the right view, now you can see left, right, left, right, left, right, and I can change the duration here. I'm going to make it 0.1 seconds, and then you can preview it right here where it says where the little play button is. And there you go. So that's a wiggle anaglyph. Basically just a 2-frame animation of 2 views of the same thing, you know, from slightly different. It's probably about the distance from your left eye to the right eye is what they use for the camera view of this. Another thing you can do to perfect your image is you can go onto that right frame, you can turn it down a little bit with the opacity, and you can move the image, the layer a little bit, so using, you know, just the regular move tool, just to make sure that a specific, anything that could overlap does, like, perfectly. Otherwise it's just going to kind of look blurry, but that'll actually enhance that sense of depth. So now if I crank that back up to 100 for the opacity, you can see it looks like he's kind of pivoting on his wing there. So now if I hit play, there he goes. So now what I want to do is export this as a animated GIF file. So to do that, or we want to save it as an animated GIF file. So what we do is you go to File, Save As, and then Save on your computer. And we want to go down the list here to GIF. And once you've done that, we want to call it, I'm going to call it Example Wiggle. And you can call it whatever you want, but make sure you have that GIF down there. And when you hit Save, you're going to get this thing that pops up. And we just want to go ahead and keep everything as is. Now the benefits to creating an anaglyph this way, let me double check where I saved this, hold on. Benefits to creating an anaglyph this way is you don't need special glasses. Yeah, it's in here. You don't need special glasses. You also can preserve all the color, the original color, so you're not getting any color loss. Whereas other the red blue, the red and blue, it's you know, you're probably not going to see the red and blue if it's in the photo. You're not going to see it quite as well as you normally would, because you know, you're filtering out red and blue using the glasses. So I got my wiggle anaglyph here. I'm going to open it up just so you guys can see. You can see it's just kind of rapid fire rotating back and forth. So that's how you would do it in Photoshop. I'm going to show you how to do it in Photopea now, so just bear with me. Let me type in photopea.leeschools.net, and I want to open, file, open, wait, hold on, let's see what we got, file, open more, okay, now file, open, and I want to locate those pictures. So I'm going back into example left, and then I'm going to go file, open in place, and that way it puts it automatically in there, example right. So now I have left and right views. And so the trick with Photopea is renaming your layers, and I can thank one of my students, Paul, for showing me that. But what we want to do again is try to line it up again like I showed you in Photoshop, the Photoshop version. And so I just use the move tool. I turn down the opacity and use the move tool. Now I'm turning the opacity back up to 100, and we can kind of preview it like that. So the next thing we want to do, bear with me for a second because I do have these instructions on how to do this that I need to make sure I'm doing it right. So we want to, first of all, go to the first frame, and we want to do underscore. We're renaming it, so it's going to say underscore A underscore. And then if we do that again for the second layer, underscore A underscore, right at the beginning, as long as you have that in there, those are going to be frames of an animated GIF file. Then what's the next thing? If we want to change the delay on the end, then what we want to do, and I believe it's 100 milliseconds for each one of these, but if we go down to the end of this and type in, comma, and I'm going to make this so that it's like, I don't know, 1/10 of a second. So I'm going to type in 100. So you add in a comma and a 100. Whoops, I got to take out the rest of right here. Hold on. Let me just, comma, 100. And then I'm going to do the same down here. I'm just double clicking on the layer name, and so that's going to be 1/10 of a second. Whoops, I got to take out the, take that out. There you go. So you got A and 100. So underscore A underscore the name of the layer, comma 100. So basically each one of these is going to play like that. So the magic here is we just need to go to File, Export as GIF, and it'll show you a preview. And I can actually adjust the speed right here. And it has a couple of different things. If you're ever wanting to create an animation, you can have multiple frames, and you can do like the boomerang thing where it goes forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards, or you can reverse them. It doesn't really matter in this because it's only a 2-frame animation. So when I go save, it should come out with whatever the top layer was, or the name of the file that you opened up, .gif, and that's the one that you're going to be turning in. So mine was example left GIF, and you can see. So I did that both in Photoshop and Photopea.